This is the part 3 of the 12 Conference on National Scenic and Historic Trails.
On buses, and we gotta ship them to our trail, and God, that's gonna cost a lot of money, and what am I gonna do if we get into a bus crash? You don't have to take them anywhere, okay? You can, cities are filled with urban experiences. Even that single tree that's in front of the school is gonna have a nest in it, and that could be a whole hour-long discussion on how, not just the birds and the bees, we wanna avoid that conversation, but the birds alone, and what they do. So don't feel like you have to bring them to you. Go to them first, and then as they grow older, they're going to want to come to you because you planted that seed that says, I like being outside, and I want to get to the bigger, better outside, because I know that that's where those folks from the trail organization told me it was. So, and the last thing that I heard from Lucas was, we like to work hard. I don't want you to forget that. I heard someone say during this conference that the youth are lazy and they don't like to work. Well, I got to tell you, that is an inaccurate assessment. This generation is empowered. We know that the world is full of great possibility, and we want to put ourselves to work. And it was really funny to say that to a group of outdoor recreation professionals. Like, you guys don't like to work hard. We like to work hard by playing hard, and it's quite frankly the same thing. So don't feel like the youth is lazy, because we're not, and we just want to find a way to work together and make that happen. So I felt like it was important to kind of emphasize those points before we get to the second part of our discussion, which is an open discussion. So I'd like people, when they have something, to raise their hands just so we can corral.
So my point of discussion is what was my favorite experience at this conference, and how has it influenced me? And I'm a big fan of whatever comes to mind first, because I don't want to think that hard. And what I first thought of was the night we're coming back from Travelers Rest State Park. And we're in the bus, and we're talking, we're having a really great conversation. And all of a sudden, we passed the Big Dipper ice cream place. And it would have been hilarious if at the time Steve had just been like, stop the bus! We need ice cream, but move that bus. Calmly and collectively, he walked to the driver and was like, maybe we stop and get off so we can have some ice cream. It was still good. So we stopped, and a few of us got off, and it was me and a bunch of the Florida Trails people. Gary, Steve, Ken, and a few others were there. And I just thought it was awesome. It wasn't part of the conference, but it was the afterwards. It's the really connecting with the people. When you're sitting chatting over a Huckleberry milkshake, talking about trails and books, and I was talking to Kent about John Muir and his 1,000-mile walk to the Gulf, and that relates to the Florida Trail because the dude was describing everything that he encountered on the Florida Trail. It was exactly like those pictures that Bart Smith displayed on last night, was exactly what my imagination couldn't grasp when John Muir was writing those words. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Amazing. And to talk with Kent about it and get his experiences, and get other names of authors who have written different books. That's, to me, is really connecting. And the best part about that connection was it was intergenerational. It was me with a bunch of strangers, not strangers, I don't know, we're friends. But we met everybody, at the end of a couple days ago, and here we are, just bridging the gap and talking like we've been friends for life. And, just the feeling, just the fact that you can't ignore the younger generation, you can't ignore the younger people, including myself, because I am one. Keep thinking, I'm talking like I'm older. So it's like, you're 13 years old at Thanksgiving dinner, and you're like, well, I want to sit at the adult table, but then I don't want to be at the kid table. You're too old for that, you're 13. But precisely what we did at the ice cream place was, Steve and Kent, they went to the kid table. they were kids themselves, and it was awesome. And that's what I love about this group of people, is that they have that inner youth in them, the child, the innocence, let's get some ice cream. Ice cream, that's the trail worker's favorite. And but it's not only the ice cream, it's the talk, and it's the relationships, and it's the connection that comes with the ice cream. And I want to eat huckleberries for life, I want to be able to pass that on. And again, that's why I like being That's why I like my position as crew leader, is because I get to bridge that gap to people younger, maybe even older than me. I had a crew member who was 28, ex-Marine guy. It was interesting. We got along at the end, but it was the beautiful thing about this conference, and that ice cream incident epitomized it, was the fact that all the older folks, all the people who have been working in the field, have been coming down to, at least me, I say a personal experience, and I'm sure it's been happening to other people, but they have been coming to me, they have been talking to me, and they look at the name tag, and I go, well, it's Golden Gate, or what do you do? And that's priceless. That's what's made this conference, for me, the best thing. The best thing. So I thank you. I thank Ken bought me the Huckleberry Shake. Is he here right now? So thank you, and just I encourage everyone to keep doing that. Keep talking to everybody, but definitely the younger folks. So awesome.
So I'd like to open the floor to some of our other youth scholarship recipients to share an experience that really marked the conference for you. You guys want to get started? We were so talkative this morning, and it's going to take everybody a little bit to get moving right now, I'm sure. I'm in the picture. I'm sorry. I apologize. Did anybody want to get started? Justin, please, let me pass this.
I don't think I need that.
Yeah, please.
My name is Justin Banfield. I come from Los Angeles, in California. It was pretty weird.
Yeah, go ahead and use it. Go ahead. Sorry.
So coming out here to this conference was pretty awesome. I think the best experience I had was at the Rest Crest place as well. Got to go to TV, which was pretty cool. But the main point the best time was when at lunch I saw a bunch of the older adults playing hacky sack, and I'm going, holy, I'm not alone. I love that. And so
That's what we thought too.
I just had to say, girls, I'm not alone. And coming from the city and going out to, or being here is kind of different, because all you guys come from different places and different, more rural areas. So, it was just a big eye-opener, and it just made me love the outdoors even more, because you guys have really interesting stories, and when I started talking, I was like, I'm kind of alone here, but it just makes me love the outdoors even more, and talking with the older adults. It was pretty cool to see the experiences that they've had, and just take it all in, and playing hacky sack and just having fun. And I was like, cool, these guys can play too. Alright.
Hi, my name is Prairie Haiti. I'm from Minnesota, but I've been working here in Montana doing trails for my fourth summer. And the one thing that I thought was the coolest about this conference was yesterday, one of the workshops, they had this summer saunters thing, and I can't remember the little boy's name. Lucas? Nathan? I'm just making up names now. But just a couple people right afterwards in the car, we were seriously teary-eyed listening to this little boy talk about his experience going on the trails, and just the fact that he's, I think 9 years old.
He was in 6th grade, about 9.
And he was so passionate about it, and I think if for this a conference like this, to get more of that would be awesome, because for me to see that, I know a lot of people around here that are really passionate about the lands, but I've gone into lots of schools in Montana and tried to do recruiting when I was in the Conservation Corps, and the kids were just not receptive. They didn't realize, we'd go in there and be like, no one I know is from here. We're from all over America, and going in there and trying to be like, you guys are from here and we love your land so much. And none of them had even heard of any of the trails that we were hiking on. None of them even knew that any of this stuff really existed, and it was their backyard. And I think if somehow to get even younger than us youth people or whatever you call I think would be great. Like, that was seriously awesome and kind of teary-eyed talking about it now, but I mean, I don't know, I think that would be a really cool part of this if that was a little bit more, yeah.
Alright, I'm Scott Manley, and I'm from Paris, Texas area. Anyway, first of all, I just want to, reinforce that I really appreciate you guys bringing us up here. But anyway, I guess the most that I've gotten out of the conference is it's been a great networking opportunity, I feel like, for me. Like, I'm a wildlife and fisheries major, and I'm officially a senior now at Texas A&M. And I don't know, I've been kind of questioning my major. I'm like, man, I'm so far along, and I really am passionate about the outdoors, but is this really what I want to do? You start saying this is cool, it'll keep me away from the desk, but then you start looking at like pay, even though that's not the most important thing. You're like, man, $30,000 a year, can I actually survive on that? And so, but anyhow, just talking with you guys and seeing other people that are just as passionate, if not more, about the outdoors as I am, and so concerned about preserving this for the younger generations. And it's just really instilled the passion back in my heart, made me realize that, I can survive, I can make it, and it's actually something that I really want to do. I mean, I knew it was, I needed a little reimbursement, and kind of talking with the older folks about, what they actually do for a job, and, some of their experiences makes me, kind of reinstills in me exactly what I do want to do with my life. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys being there for us and being there and talking with us about your careers and stuff. Anyway, appreciate it.
Anybody else who wants to offer an experience? You can set aside a little bit of time. It'd be great.
Okay, my name is Josh Cuccinella. I'm a grad student at the University of Florida, and I don't have any one particular moment that stands out, but just in general, the several calls to action that we heard throughout the whole conference were, at least in this case, effective and successful, especially Steve's keynote address at Traveler's Rest. It's inspirational. I now want to go back and revise my thesis and just put even more effort and work harder and answer some of the questions that the people from Florida that I've been talking with have raised and the issues I've heard from them. And so that too, a chance to socialize with people from my area was really helpful to get some more direction as far as my research. And, that's all. Thank you.
My name is Molly Hearn. I'm from Dover, New Hampshire. And for me, again, not really one specific event as part of the conference, but I've found it really neat just meeting so many people from different parts of the country. This is my first time in Montana, my first time really being out west since I was 6. And just, it has sort of reminded me of how big this country really is and how little of my own country I've actually seen. So I don't have much experience necessarily with trail work. I've certainly been hiking and outdoors all of my life, but really only in New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, that area where I've lived my whole life. So this conference, for me, meeting all these new people from all over the country, has really inspired me to want to get out to different parts of the country and explore all these different trails and parks that we have that I haven't necessarily seen before. So.
We'll have one more before we move on to our next discussion point.
I'm actually not one of the youth scholars. However, exactly, we're all youth, right? 25 and down. I just wanted to say that I'm working
The 12th Conference on National Scenic and Historic Trails is brought to you by the Bureau of Land Management, the National Park Service, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and the National Forest Service.